G'day guys, Cobber here. Today I'm going to be showing you how to install any aftermarket flywheel cage. So in this video in particular, I'm going to be installing the Artefact Red cage, which is a full metal cage with no flywheel tilt and is designed for the Rapid Strike and Strife. Now installing any other aftermarket cage is pretty similar. I know the Dr. Snickers cages are very similar to this. So if you just want to follow along my tutorial and install the cage that you have for your blaster, you can definitely do that because it's pretty much the same steps. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. Here is the Artefact cage I'm installing. Some cages may vary for installation, but this tutorial will pretty much cover everything. All you really need for this mod is an assortment of screwdrivers ranging from small to very small. You will see why. Or a drill if you have one. I'm installing this cage in my Rapid Strike. Unscrew your blaster and open it. Remove any small bits that may get lost and put them in a safe place. Now unscrew your cage and the magwell wire cover. Let's get into our cage. To get into the cage, press the two tabs on the side of the cage. Use the holes near the motors and a screwdriver to pop your flywheels off. Now use the motor shafts and press them against a hard surface. They will pop right off. Here is my new cage. For the darts to fly out, we need the motors set up with the positive to be facing forward. Now to lock our motors down. The Artefact cage comes with these small screws. Use a small screwdriver to put these in. Be careful, you will lose these very easily. Screw them into the screw ports. Your motor should line up with them. Now reinstall your flywheels. Make sure they aren't grinding on anything. Check this by spinning your wheels a few times. If you hear a noise, readjust them. For the Artefact cage to fit in the Rapid Strike, you have to file down these two walls. This cage was meant for a Strife, so it's not a big problem. Use a Dremel and file them down. Make sure your motors are set up correctly with the positive wire facing forward to the blaster before putting it back in the blaster. Now place it back in the blaster and make sure everything lines up. Screw it down. Place back in your small parts. And we're done. And you're all done. So as you can see, pretty easy how-to today. Just pretty much a drop-in part, which I love. So there's no real shell cutting or like proper modification to the shell you really have to do. It's just pretty much a drop-in kit. And if you're running 130s, it's even better because it pretty much drops straight in. No shell cutting required to fit in the 180s, and it sounds a whole lot better. Definitely one of the pros for this is it is a much quieter rev, so if you listen now. The reason for this is the motors aren't shaking around as much as they were in the plastic cage. That's due down to me filing down the cage. So you can't really control that unless you take your time with it and properly go through with it. But definitely if you want to go for the show, go for the metal cages because they're so worth it. They look awesome and they perform just as nicely. So now firing test, I'll have last week's episode of the Aftermarket Motors installation firing test now. As you can see, pretty loud. So now here is the test with the new flywheel cage. As you can see, a whole lot quieter and it is performing much better now. You will get slightly increased FPS out of this because the motors are stabilized. They're going to be able to put the energy that they create into the flywheels and give you more power out of your darts. So this cage will definitely help your motors provide all that power that they are giving you. So as always guys, thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy my content, please feel free to subscribe. I've got weekly how-tos up. I've been going pretty well so far. I've been doing 3 weeks strong, and this video will be number 4. Hopefully have some change of content soon, maybe some loadouts and a couple mod overviews. But as always guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. So there's no real